Good day, students. Welcome to week 4 of CATR 112 Cat Machine Shorthand, Theory 2. This week we will look at lessons 26 and 27. Let's look at the contents. Words ending in shall and shus sounds. Words beginning with in, int, and ent. Words beginning with ind, inf, ints, int, and inv. Words ending in shall. The rule. Use RBL at the end of the stroke if it fits. Use RBL as a separate stroke if it doesn't fit. You think of RBL as shall sound. So you hear shall, you know you're going to write RBL. Be sure all outlines are represented. A word like partial, you might be tempted to write PARBL. But R is always represented, as we spoke about this before. R is always represented once it is in the stroke, except of course you have some short form for the word that excludes the R. Practice some shall words or words ending with shall. Artificial, artificial. Beneficial, beneficial. Crucial, crucial. Facial, facial. Now do it on your own. That is, I'm not putting up any of the outlines for you. You're going to write it by the sound and you're going to put the correct outlines. Let's go. Glacial, judicial, prejudicial, racial, social, socialist, special, commercial, credential, credentials. Words ending in shus. The rule. Use RBS at the end of the stroke if it fits, and use RBS as a separate stroke if it doesn't fit. Think of the RBS as the shus sound. Be sure all sounds are represented in your outline. RBS, Separate stroke, RBS again. Shus. And it must be represented in your outline, all sounds. Practice such words. Ambitious, auspicious, cautious, delicious, facetious, ferocious. Now do it on your own. Fictitious, judicious, nauseous, precious, spacious, tenacious, conscientious, conscious. Words beginning with in, int, ent. Rule. Write in, in, that is it. You put in the I and the N, so that's your final side, not the initial side N. When you have words that begin with in, do not write the short form, which is the TPH, in. You are going to get a separate stroke. It will not join. Words beginning with in, you write IN as a separate stroke for the words beginning with in. Command briefs will be given for some of these words, and if you cannot recall the briefs, don't hesitate, write out the word. SPW. You write SPW for words beginning with INT and ENT. Now you would have passed the word into, which is SPWAO. Int, SPW. Whenever you see that word that begins with int, think SPW. Practice words beginning with in and words beginning with int. Inaccurate. A short form for inaccurate is CRAT. Inaction. Inactive. Inaugurate. Intact. Now look at that word, int and act. SPW, AKT, one outline, intact. Intellect. Intellectual. Now this one is unique. It's a magnum theory stroke. Okay? The L is tucked in, the final L is tucked in. Intellectuals, another magnum stroke. Look at it carefully. Tuck in that final L. intelligence, intelligent, there are other magnum outlines for int on page 245 of the Magnum Theory text. Practice words beginning with ent. Entail. Again, SPW is used for words that begin with ent, as it is used for words that begin with int. Enter. Instead, it's SPWR. Entire. Entirely. That's a Magnum theory there. Okay, the L included in entire makes it entirely. Entitle. Okay. LGTS, that's Magnum theory, is used where words sound with the ending ital. Entitle. LGTS is at the end of that word. Entitle. There is an ital sound at the end of that word. Ital, LGTS. Int, SPW. Remember, we are incorporating strokes that will help us to save time, write short, and write fast. Entrance. Entrance. Other ent words from Magnum are on page 247 of the Magnum Theory text. Words beginning with ind. Indeed. Indifference. Indifferent. Induce. Induct. Induction. Indulge. Indulgence. Words beginning with inv, inv, env. The rule. Use STW for initial inf, inv, and env. Practice words beginning with inf. Infect. Infected. Infection. Observe the stroke carefully for infection. Infill. Infest. Infirm. Inflamed. Information. Inflate. Inflation. Other words beginning with INF, inf, can be found in the Magnum text at page 255. Practice words beginning with inv. Invade, invasion, invasive, invent, invention, inventor, inverse, invest, invite. Other words beginning with INF can be found on page 256 of the Magnum text. Words beginning with ENF. Enf. Enforce, enforcement, enforcing. Now these are all Magnum outlines. They are Magnum theory outlines. They can come in very handy as long as you practice them and you are able to master them. You will be able to write short and write fast. Briefs for INV words. Invest. Take it down in your book so that you can refer to them quickly and you can drill them as often as possible. Investment. Investor. Investigate. Investigation. Investigator. Words beginning with INS. Rule. Use S, TPH or SN for initial ins. Practice words beginning with ins. Incentive, insane, insect, insert, insight, install, installation, instant, instantly, instance. Work it out on your own. Other ins words. Instead, institute, institution, insulated, insulation, insult, insultant. I hope you went well with this one. Work it out on your own. Other ins words. Insure, insured, uninsured, insurer, insurance. Here are some phrases that begin with ins or they include ins words. Instead of the, insurance company, insurance policy, health insurance, health care. This has brought us to the end of this lesson, lessons 26 and 27. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next week, which will be our 5th week. Goodbye.